What's up, YouTube? It is good having you back in the shop today. I gotta make some walnut boxes. I got some customers that are waiting on this, so we need to knock these out today. So I made the glue up for the bottom panel for this because it takes the most amount of time to do, so I couldn't wait for that. Glued this up, clamped it with some cauls so it should be flat. We need to sand this down, we need to plane this down and get this prepped. And then I cut some pieces of walnut. These are about 10 inches long, and these are going to be the sides of our boxes. So that means that we need to miter them and then cut out a groove that will house the bottom panel. Let's get started. The bottom's all sanded, and I haven't trimmed off the sides yet because I don't really know how big that I'm gonna need this. So instead what I'm gonna do is take all my side pieces, cut the miter so I can put them together, and then I'll do some measuring, figure out how big of a bottom I need, and then I can come back and then trim this to the proper size. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna set my blade at a 45-degree angle, and if you ever make miters repeatedly, then I highly recommend take your saw and calibrate it. You can go down, if you've got a cabinet saw like this, you can make some adjustments, and so that whenever you turn the wheel to move the blade, that it will automatically stop at 45 degrees. It's just gonna help you out, save a lot of time if you're batching things out. Miters are looking pretty good. So now I'm gonna cut the grooves that's gonna hold this. This is the reason why I had to have this sanded down, because now it's this final thickness, so I can cut it and make it fit right in there. So to do that, I'm not really a dado blade person. I don't know. So I don't use a dado blade. Instead, I use a ripping blade because it has a flat tooth on it. So I'm gonna change out this blade, put this blade in, and then I'm just gonna make a couple passes, multiple passes over this, and then just keep test fitting it until it fits in there. I got the boxes glued up, so while that's drying, I'm gonna look at the lid. So I got a couple pieces of walnut, and I'm thinking this orientation is gonna look good. Oh, so I need to trim this off. I need to trim off some of these pieces, make it a little bit smaller, get these things jointed and planed, and then glued up together. And based on the time, I probably won't be able to work on this until tomorrow, so you'll get to see me work on it tomorrow and finish up this lid. I keep messing around with the orientation of these, and I think I'm going with it this way. I looked at it and thought about having it this way. It's kind of hard to see on camera, but it might look a little bit better when the boards are oriented this way. But the thing is if it's like this, when you look at the bottom of it, the sapwood mates together, and it looks a little bit book matchy. And I think that looks a little bit more polished compared to having heartwood right up against the sapwood, and then like this visually lines just is like, so instead, like this, and then I still have to trim it a little bit too, so some of this is gonna go away. But what I like to do is I put my boards together and then I draw a triangle on them. And I like to think that my joiner's at 90 degrees. I check it every day, but what if it's like 89.9? So what I'll do is I like to rejoint my joints before I glue them together. So what I'll do is I will run it across the joiner triangle out, and then the mating board, I will put the triangle against the fence and do it. That way, when I put these together, I'm guaranteed to have a nice joint. We made good progress today. We got a couple boxes glued up. We got the lid glued up. So gotta let that dry. Tomorrow gotta come in, need to cut this lid down, need to mill it up, and then it's going to sit inside the box. So that means we need to cut some rabbets and dados around it so that it fits all up in there. And if you know anybody who's in the box making, maybe share this video with them so they can see the process, and maybe they'll make one too. And until we meet again, get in your shop, build something awesome.